Okay, it is 6:32. I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. Hi, everybody. My name is Ratan Chand. So I will be filling in for Commissioner Abu Khalaf as he is out of town this evening. So before we kind of get started with the usual stuff that we do here, I figured we could do some introductions since we have a new commissioner. So Julia, do you want to start first? Just tell us a little bit about yourself and the area you represent.
Sure. So I grew up in the DMV area, in Upper Montgomery County, and have lived in DC for the past 5 years, and have spent a lot of time in Noma in the past 3 years. Only lived in this block for about or almost a year now. And what inspired me to do this and fill the vacancy was that there's a little spot where I feel like there should always have been a crosswalk. So went to look up who my ANC commissioner was and saw that the seat was vacant. And my background professionally is primarily in field organizing, campaigns, community sort of legwork sort of stuff. So I said, I can get 25 signatures. And why not? Why not me? So that's what kind of led me to declare candidacy and fill the vacancy. So I don't know nearly anything near what there is to know about how ANCs work or what is possible, but I've got some stuff I care about in this little block of town. So yeah, I'm excited to do this and get to know you guys.
Yeah, that's very exciting. We're really happy to have a full team, and we actually saw Councilmember Allen did a whole post about
Oh, I
you joining.
know.
I was like, that was cool because I've never got a post like that, so that was pretty fancy. But I guess I can go next. My name is Ratan Chans. I am the commissioner for 6009, which essentially is Mass Ave between Fourth and Fifth. I have a few buildings kind of in that area. Originally, I've been in the DMV area since 2009, so almost half my life at this point. And I'm in my fourth year as a commissioner, and I'm currently the vice chair. Maybe Dale or yeah, do you want to go next?
Sure. Dale Prince, representing 6E08, which is roughly bounded by on the south Constitution and Louisiana avenues, and takes a swing up North Capitol and um, Massachusetts Avenue, and then over to Fifth. I have one block on the north side of Massachusetts Avenue, which is between bounded by Mass, Third, I, and Fourth. Oh, and I also have part of 401 Mass Ave. Most of the people I represent are clustered around close to Mass Ave, although there is one building down closer to Constitution, as well as a smattering of others. So in my third year, I, like you, Commissioner Fiedler, filled a vacancy midway through a term, and then I ran in 2024. Was that the last one? Yeah, 2024. And I'm a retired Foreign Service officer.
That's awesome.
And I'm last. I'm Nate Kaufman. I am from 6006, which are a couple of blocks around the Noma metro stop.
Okay, cool. Neighbors.
Basically, yeah, neighbors. So basically, three big buildings, which are the 130 Flats, the Hale, and Camden Noma. And this is my first term as an ANC. I ran in 2024. I've been in DC since 2020 and originally from Pennsylvania. And my day job is with the Treasury Department. So, welcome.
All right, so it looks like we still do not have quorum yet. But with that being said, we can still take updates. And I see that there's a couple of folks that usually give updates. That is, I believe, the policy. Dale, would you agree with that?
Yes, I
Okay.
see one attendee who maybe is that a commissioner? Is there a commissioner who has not been promoted to panelist? The the ID on the user there looks familiar, but I could be mistaken. If there's any commissioner who has not been promoted to panelist, please raise your hand.
Okay. There we go.
I don't see a promotion yet.
Yeah, I tried to try that
Oh,
again.
You want to try again? Can you raise your hand?
There we go. Yep.
Okay. Is that Commissioner Watts?
Yes, it's Commissioner Watts.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
that puts us at quorum.
All right. Well, thank you to everybody. So with that being said, the first thing was the call to order and the roll call, and we kind of extended it a little bit because of our new face. But with that being said, we can go on to the next step, which is going to be the approval of the agenda. So I will share my screen here. So here's the agenda for this evening's meeting. Right now, we're doing the approval of the agenda. Then there's the approval of the January minutes. Then there's the update from Councilmember Allen's office, and then the update from the mayor's office, and the update from MPD. And Julia, these are the standard, every meeting these people will join, just for background. And then we have a presentation from DDOT, from DGS. We've got an ABCA license request. We got two of them, actually. And then I have a few things at the end related to a dog park and something about administrative support that I'd like to talk about. And then we have open forum, and then we just announce when the next meeting is, and we adjourn. Dale, you had sent me some information, right?
Yes.
So we need to amend the agenda, right?
We need to, yes, before we vote on the agenda, we need to insert in there the treasurer's presentation of the January financials, and we need to vote on the QFR, the quarterly financial report for the first quarter.
Okay. So I guess we have to, let me first, I'm going to move that we make that addition to the agenda. So before I make that change, does somebody want to second that?
I'm not sure
Actually, no, I
it
guess
requires a motion because the
Okay.
agenda has not been approved.
Fair. Okay. So let me add this. Financials for 6E. Just say that's 9. Other than that, does anybody else have any other additions? Give that 10 minutes. Open forum. I wish there was a quicker way to do this, but unfortunately. Okay. All right. I think that looks good. So with that being said, I am going to move to approve the agenda for the ANC 60 meeting in February 2026. Can I get a second?
I will second that.
Thank you. Okay, so I move to approve it, and Commissioner Prince seconded it. With that being said, we will move to a vote. So how we usually do votes, I'm just going to give everybody's SMD, and you just say aye or nay.
We didn't take a roll call. Item 1. Sorry
Oh
to
yeah,
interrupt.
I guess we should technically do that, even though we did the
Yes.
introductions. So let's do the roll call. 6E01, I don't believe is here. 6E02, I don't believe is here. 6E03.
02 is here, Crystal Watts.
Okay, all right. Thank you. 6E03, not here. 6E04,
Here.
6E05, 6E06,
Here.
6E07, not present. 6E08,
Here.
6E09, present. Okay, thank you for that. So now that so yes, now I'm going to do the vote to approve this agenda. So again, 6E01, not present. 6E02,
Aye.
6E03, 6E04,
Aye.
6E05, 6E06. Okay, 6E07, not here. 6E08,
All right.
and 6E09, present. So the motion passes 5-0. With that being said, now we are going to go ahead and look at the minutes for January. Nate, do you have those by any chance? Okay, so I'll let you. I don't think we usually share them on the screen for the meetings, but just for today. And we actually have somebody that helps us take minutes. Her name is Karen Yela, and so we basically send her the Zoom recording after each meeting, and then she does the minutes based on that recording. Okay, if you just want to scroll down a little bit more, that was really the main thing, was the election of the officers last month. So this looks pretty good to me. Okay. Yes, and we also voted on the methods to advertise the meeting. So our ANC has two different methods. One is the newsletter, and the other one is the website. So both of those were updated prior to this meeting. And we also voted to support the Rock and Roll Marathon. And we also voted to continue using Kayla for the minutes, Karen, sorry, for the minutes. And then we approved the financial report. So
We did?
actually, that doesn't.
That's what I was going to present tonight because Office of ANC told me it had not been not been approved. So what's going on here?
Yeah, I thought we did.
Okay, so maybe it hasn't been submitted. So I guess we can skip that agenda item. Um,
Okay.
I think that's the issue, that it hasn't been submitted, and I'm not sure why, but I'll try to figure it out.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. But I'm going to move that we approve the minutes from last month's meeting. If anybody would like to second that.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, great. So I move to approve and Commissioner Prince seconded. So with that, we're going to move to a vote. Oh no. We cannot go to a vote because we just lost one of our commissioners. Oh, no, she's back. Good. All right. So let's start with the vote. 6001, not here. 6002. 6002. Might be some technical difficulties. Okay. We'll come back to 6002. 6003, not here. 6004.
Aye.
6005, not here. 6006.
Aye.
6007. 6008.
Aye.
6009. Aye. 6002.
Aye.
Perfect. Okay. So this passes 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Moving on, now that we've approved the agenda and the minutes, we are going to go to our update from Councilmember Allen's office. So, John, I'm going to go ahead and promote you. Give me 1 second here. Perfect. Welcome.
Okay. How is everybody? Welcome and thanks for having me. I am going to talk about one thing that is 60 specific, or a couple things. One is the update on Cobb Park. Most everybody knows that it is half open on the 13th. The playground and the benches and everything opened, even though it was buried in snow. But by the end of April, the gates will be down. All four gates will be open, and still outstanding that DDOT has committed to is a crosswalk at 3rd and H into the park. So I just wanted everybody who's tuned in to make sure they knew that. The other 6E specific update that I have is that we did a visit with Councilmember Allen to Museum Square on K Street. And the gist of that is, what really prompted that is that the elevators have been out for months. They have 5 elevators. It is a largely Chinese speaking community. So not much is translated from management. And we now know as of yesterday that one elevator is working on all floors. So there is a nonprofit inside that building that has been helping people get upstairs to their groceries, as well as get to and from doctor's appointments, etc. So if you see your neighbors at Museum Square, know that they have been struggling for a really long time. Okay, so from Councilmember Allen, we have that the new introduction of the Grid Act. That's to speed up solar installation and allow balcony solar without permitting. So that was this week. It's a new bill that hopefully will speed up PEPCO's process to connect solar. Whether it's on your rooftop or a larger community solar project like my co-op to the grid, and reduce surprise fees that can eventually add tens of thousands of dollars to the cost. So of note for people in larger buildings, the bill would also exempt balcony solar, which are small units that can be installed on a balcony and plugged in to skip the permitting process. So that actually avoids delay, it avoids additional bills, and you're right up to solar. The other thing I want to talk about is the federal tax issue. So a couple of weeks ago, the House, Congress, and the president signed a disapproval of the DC decoupling of our local tax laws from parts of the federal one big beautiful tax law. What decoupling means is simply that the local tax code doesn't match the federal tax code, which is, a lot of states do to fit with their own constituents. The council did reverse several of the policies in the bill instead put that money into creating a local tax child credit. We also expanded the earned income tax credit, effectively cutting taxes for working and low income families. This week, DC's Attorney General, you may have seen, issued an opinion that Congress acted outside of the 30-day window that it has to legally disapprove DC law. So we're hoping that means that the disapproval does not take effect. Congress's meddling has already created a lot of confusion. And if it were to go into effect, the disapproval would create a $600 million deficit instantly in our budget, as well as impact the current local tax filing season underway. So Councilmember Allen urges residents to follow any forthcoming guidance from OTR, the Office of Tax and Revenue. It does not impact your federal filing, so that part is the same. The other update I want to share is the Potomac River sewage break. By this point, most folks are probably aware of the massive sewage spill in Maryland involving a sewage spill on the Potomac River and later redirected into the C&O Canal. Actually, Councilmember Allen did a site visit there. The break is in Maryland near the border of Virginia, but there have been serious implications for the quality and ecosystem of the Potomac River downstream, which is us. DC Water confirms that this does not impact the safety of drinking water, as the break is south of the Washington Aqueduct, where our drinking water comes in. But obviously we're not swimming, we're not fishing, we're not touching the river right now. DC Water estimates that a complete repair will take 4 to 6 weeks to complete. We think this will take a little bit longer. We've been in touch with the DC Department of Energy and Environment and all the stakeholders around water in the city, including the Potomac River Keeper, et cetera. And Councilmember Allen has convened regional elected leaders throughout the Council of Governments, which is the regional body, to coordinate on a response. And so I believe next Monday is the oversight for the director for DOEE and DC Water as well. You can always tune into those if you go to the DC Council website and look under hearings, or you can check in on the calendar right there on the DC Council website. Speaking of oversight, we are going to continue those hearings until early March. We're almost through its annual performance oversight, where every agency comes before council, as well as DC Water and WMATA, which is not necessarily just DC, obviously. that way folks can ask questions, both the public and the council can ask questions about what went right, what went wrong. We always encourage folks to come, especially there's an oversight hearing for MPD tomorrow. And then Thursday, Department of Human Services, which is obviously a huge one with SNAP and TANF kind of have been federally at least on the chopping block. Friday, Councilmember Allen will hear from members of the public about the Public Service Commission. That is the body that oversees PEPCO, Washington Gas, utilities in general. And I will put a link into the chat for that hearing so that folks can sign up if they would like or submit their written testimony. And I'm happy to take any questions. Super happy to be here.
Thank you. Any commissioners firstly that have any questions? Otherwise, I see one hand that's raised.
It's more of an observation because I think the question will go to, maybe it's more appropriate to direct the question to the MOCR in their time slot. And it's regarding snow clearing on sidewalks that are not in front of businesses or residences, and particularly Cobb Park, because that has a fair amount of foot traffic along Massachusetts Avenue, people coming and going, Union Station particularly. And it seemed to have taken a while to get cleared on the Mass Ave side of that. And I just don't know if it falls through the cracks, whether DPW is or DDOT. I don't think it's DDOT, but in any case, I know it was a huge challenge this last, with the snowcrete and all that. But I am not sure if a better job couldn't have been done there, and which agency was responsible. So
I 100% appreciate that. I have spent a fair amount of time clearing sidewalks, engaging bids, and baking them cookies as a thank you. But I do think sidewalks in general, and Noah will confirm this, is DDOT. So public space, think about roads and sidewalks,
yes.
etc.
Yes, sidewalks, yes, DDOT, that's right.
Yep. Dale, I don't know actually if DPR has taken oversight over that park. And so therefore you couldn't, I don't think, reach out to them quite yet in terms of that's their turf and therefore their responsibility. We did get some clarity though through this last big snowstorm about who's responsible for what. And DPW eventually did put out a really clear, who's got what in terms of responsibility. So I do think that in general, we have a lot more clarity going in. I do think that the communication could have been a lot better in terms of setting expectations for folks. That is definitely what I spent a lot of time doing.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions from commissioners? All right, otherwise I see Commissioner Nigro in the audience has a question. I'm going to let you talk. However, I will just caveat that I will limit to 2 minutes just to be respectful of everybody's time. Go ahead.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. So my question, John, is because Charles did not answer me back on social media, is about what we call AV vehicles, autonomous vehicles. And I don't quite get why he's against it. And my question was to him specifically, has he ever ridden in a Waymo? And he did not. So how can you try to legislate this and regulate it if you haven't even been in the product? There's my question. Has he been in a Waymo?
Yes, he has a couple times.
Oh, but then I guess I don't get if you know how it works, it's kind of fabulous. And then why isn't he pushing for DDOT to release their study?
I'm pretty sure he's not against it. I think that he sees that there is room to improve before it's really released, but I'm happy to ask him and get back to you.
Yeah, ask him about, because get that DDOT study out, because it is where it's at. And people who do not get that are way behind. So I don't get it. I don't know why people are against it. So that's it.
All right, thank you.
I'll just make a quick note, Commissioner Hunt's budget question that you guys were thinking about. I think that was whether you guys were considering grant programs, and that was part of why in the minutes when you were reflecting about that. I think that's what was outstanding.
Do you
we-
mean on the QFR, first quarter QFR vote, or something else?
It just came up in the discussion last month. So maybe that was the outstanding question in terms of the approval. Just a thought.
Yeah, no, I wish, okay. Yeah, but apparently we voted on the QFR report. So we don't need to do it again. Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions for Councilmember Allen's office? If not, we can go on to our next agenda item. Thank you for joining.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So next up is the mayor's office. Is there anybody from the mayor's office on? I don't see Noah, who's usually our POC. Is there anybody else? Otherwise, if not, then let's move on to our update from MPD. If there's anybody from MPD on the line, if you could just raise your hand and we can promote you. I see a name. I'm just not entirely sure if it is MPD or not. No, maybe they're not here either. Okay. Then let's go ahead. Is there anybody from DDOT on the line? I believe that there's a presentation. From Kelly. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody from DDOT either. What time would, okay, well, okay, well, we're really way ahead of schedule right now, so the DDOT presentation was not until 7:25 and neither was the MPD one. And MPD was not until 7:05. So let's see here. I wonder if maybe we can kind of move around a little bit. I see the Peruvian brothers are here. Maybe we can have you guys go next if that works. So I will promote you.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys? Thanks for having me here.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you. I am. This is my first meeting, so I don't know how the process goes.
Yeah. So essentially, you've come to the ANC. You're looking for some support, right?
Correct. I know that part. I don't know if I should just tell my story, or you guys get to ask me questions.
Yeah. No, we'd love to kind of hear from you, and then we can ask some questions afterwards.
Excellent. I'll give you a short resume about my brother and myself and Peruvian brothers.
Okay.
My brother and I came here to McLean, Virginia, in 1997. We went to McLean High School, and we've been around DC ever since. I went ahead and represented the U.S. in the Olympics, in the 2008 Olympics and the 2012 Olympics for Team USA for the sport of rowing. Meanwhile, my brother, after community college, went to and became a captain in the Mediterranean for a rich family. And while I was training with the U.S. team for about 8 years. My brother was captaining and growing his expertise on sailing, but not only that, but also in cooking in Spain. Fast forward to 2012, after the 2012 Olympics, we came back and we started Peruvian Brothers #1 on April 12th. It's coming on our 13-year anniversary, April 12th, 2013. Thank you, Julia. And we grew from 1 food truck to 2 food trucks to 3 food trucks. And then we had the opportunity to open our first brick and mortar inside La Cosecha Latin Market, where there we have another liquor license as well. And we've been there for 6 years. We just turned 6 years at La Cosecha Latin Market. Between when we opened La Cosecha and now, We've taken the food truck to different places. Audi Field. We serve food at the State Department, at the White House with different administrations. And then right during COVID, we opened our first restaurant in 2020, February of 2020 to be exact. We had a full-on great opening party, but then the pandemic hit a month after. We survived. We donated over 25,000 meals to first responders. We partnered up with World Central Kitchen. We had donations from our own friends and family that helped us donate more food. In 2022, 2023, we opened our second Peruvian Brothers brick and mortar at the bottom level of Amazon HQ2, where we also have an ABC license there as well. Fast forward to, we just turned 2 at Amazon HQ2. It's going great there. And we had the opportunity to open it in this beautiful building on North Capitol. It's on 660 North Capitol. It's North Capitol and G Street. Beautiful glass building. You can see it on Google Maps there. 660 North Capitol Northwest. And my brother and I came to this project. We were able to build it really fast with a great team of architects and construction. And we're also going to have a bar there. Our plan is to open there mostly for now, Monday to Friday, between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., sort of like a breakfast, lunch, and happy hour scene. We're planning to have our soft opening probably in the next 2 weeks, having our soft opening. And what we need right now, we just got our plaques for Peruvian Brothers North Capitol. That's how we're calling it. We have Peruvian Brothers La Cosecha, we have Peruvian Brothers Amazon, and we have Peruvian Brothers North Capitol, which we are super excited to be there. We have a beautiful view of the Capitol, and on the side, of course, you have Peruvian Brothers in a restaurant. The whole building is about 88 or 89% occupied. We're very close with the property manager, and they're being very helpful. And the one thing that we need right now is a letter of support from you guys to expedite, so we can serve alcohol while the plaques are up for the 45 days show.
I see. So yeah, you are requesting a stipulated license, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I actually I was not as clear about what a stipulated license meant. So I'm going to share my screen here and let everybody read this, just so everybody has an understanding of what they're asking. So essentially, a stipulated license allows an applicant for an alcohol retailer, manufacturer, or wholesale license to operate during its 45-day public notice period and to begin operations prior to being issued a new license, transfer of a license, or change in operation. So it looks like they want to basically serve before they're legally allowed to serve from having the regular license, correct?
Correct. As a business, as a small business owner, because that's what we are, a person that is always trying to have many hats. And we finally found a construction company they blew our expectations. And all of a sudden I was like, hey, I need to apply for a liquor license because time is ticking. And didn't forget, but the 45 days, I thought it was like 15 days or 30 days. So the 45 days kind of caught me as a surprise. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys to get a letter of support so I can apply for this type of expedite license to be able to serve while having the plaques up.
Okay, got it. Do any commissioners have any questions on this, or anybody from the public? Firstly, thank you for giving us the background. It seems like you have a great story, and I look forward to trying at some point.
Absolutely. It's our main goal is not only to serve great food, to represent Peru as gastro diplomats, but also tell a positive immigration storytelling about, two brothers just came to the U.S. with one hand in front, one hand behind, and just kind of building it. And now, we're able to employ about 50 people in our roster, and that's a huge accomplishment for us because now we get to allow people to work in a good environment and provide for their families.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. I don't have any questions, commissioners or anybody in the, okay. Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming to tell us about your place. Just a couple of questions. Can we assume your other places that are open also have licenses? Did you say they're in both DC and Virginia? Are they?
Yes, one place is in La Cosecha Latin Market, also in the Union Market District, about
Yeah.
1.5 miles from our
Yes,
location,
that's right.
which has had a liquor license for the past 6 years. And the other one is in Virginia, at the bottom level of Amazon XG2 in the Crystal City area.
Right.
And we've had a liquor license there for over 2 years now.
Yeah. And the other question is, what are the hours of the business on North Capitol Street?
Right now, we're planning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to catch breakfast, lunch, and happy hour time. Because if more of the community wants to come out and enjoy a drink, we can, in the future, we can change our hours. But we believe that area is mostly for the workforce. Everybody that I've talked to outside this, I mean, practically living in that place. So I come out for a phone call because it's too noisy inside. Whoever is outside, I usually ask where they work, where they live, obviously explaining that I'm opening here. So I just want to get a little bit of information from them. And the majority of the people that have shown me interest in, of course, we're going to come eat here because there's not a lot of places to eat, are usually people that come in to work. Not so much like La Cosecha or Amazon, where there's also a lot of mostly residential around.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, so essentially what you would like us to do is to move that we approve your stipulated license. And when would you need this by?
If we can have it by we're hoping to open in the next week to week and a half to open. So if we can have it before then, just so I can talk to the Abra, and let them know, hey, you asked me for this. I already gave you all the other paperwork that you needed to advance my license. But the one thing that I needed was a letter of approval, a letter of support from you guys.
Okay, we can do that within a week and a half. That's not a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and move that ANC 60 approves the Peruvian Brothers stipulated license request. Go ahead.
May I suggest a slightly different language?
Sure.
We don't actually approve the license. ABCA approves the license. So we would express our support or no objection. We would express our support.
Okay.
Like to
Dale, you're exactly right. Thank you for your support. But I think what I was there yesterday at the Abra office, getting my plaques to put in front of the restaurant, which are there already. So what we need is a letter of support of us, so Abra can say, hey, okay, you have their support. Now you can serve alcohol while you wait for your 45 days of having your plaques up.
Yes, I agree, and that's what our motion should say.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. So let me try this again. So I move that ANC 60 supports the Peruvian Brothers' request for a stipulated license, and that we convey that support to Abra. Can I get a second?
Second.
I will second that.
Perfect. All right. So I moved, and then Commissioner Watts seconded. With that, we will move to a vote. So 6001 not here. 6002.
Aye.
6003 not here. 6004.
Aye.
6005. 6006.
Aye.
6008. I'm just going to skip.
Aye.
And then 6009. Aye. All right. So the motion passes 5 to 0. And we'll make sure we get you that letter.
Thank you very much, all. I appreciate your time. And just for my clarification, when should I reach out to the Abra for an update with your letter?
As in basically like confirming that Abra received our letter?
Just so I can go and say, hey, I'm okay to serve alcohol.
Okay, I will, what I can do is at least when I email the letter to Abra, we can CC you. That way you know that at least they have it.
Excellent.
Does that work? Okay.
Thank you very much, all. I really appreciate it. I enjoy hearing about what's going on in DC. And I hope to have you guys to eat or at the bar or both.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, is that Commissioner Rogers that just joined? You are on mute. We cannot hear you if you're speaking.
Okay, I
There
got
we
you
go.
now.
All right, perfect.
All
All right. So now we.
I've been trying to get in there, right, but my phone was acting up.
Oh, no, no worries. All right, that's good. Now we've got 6 commissioners, even better. So
Yeah,
just for
well, I said aye to the liquor license.
okay. I don't know if I can technically count that after we finish the vote. But okay. All right, so moving on, just for Karen taking the minutes, just know now that there are 6 commissioners in presence.
At, yeah, 7, whatever, 12, 13 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, so looks like there was also another request from Prost. Is there anybody here from Prost? If so, if you just want to raise your hand. Okay, it doesn't look like they're here. We're still pretty. Is anybody from either DDOT or Department of Corrections here? No. Okay. What I'm thinking is that maybe we can go through the internal stuff that I wanted to bring up, but before the other people come. So, just an update, number one, on the dog park that we've been working on. So these 2 items are mine. So, the update for the dog park is that the application has been submitted, and is currently being reviewed by the Department of Parks. The one thing I wanted to just mention is that if this were to be approved, we are going to think about what we would like to name it, and if people have ideas or suggestions on what the name would be, we are open. One name that has come up so far is naming it Puma Park, and Puma was actually a dog that used to live in the neighborhood, that passed away a few years ago, and he actually used to have his birthday party in the bar next to where this park would be. And he was also a dog that just got along with every dog. And for those who know dogs, not every dog gets along with every dog. So that was one name we are thinking about. But again, we are open to other ideas. So if people have other ideas, please let us know. So that was really my main update for the dog park.
Where exactly is that?
Sorry?
Where is the dog park?
So the proposed dog park would be on Mass Ave between 4th and 5th, next to Present Company. Yeah, there's basically like an area that's been abandoned that it was a quasi dog park. So the idea would be to make it a proper one.
Revitalize. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Good for present company or yeah.
Yeah, and frankly, that whole block, I mean, that block used to have CVS, it used to have Subway, it used to have UPS, it used to have a restaurant, and they've all gone since COVID. So the idea would be we bring something like a dog park, some businesses might want to come back too. Okay. Next up, and this might take a little bit more time, discussion on administrative support for ANC 6E. So something that has kind of been prevalent throughout the years, at least since I've been a commissioner, is that there's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of writing and a lot of admin stuff that can bog down commissioners and that can lead to burnout, frankly, is what I've noticed. And so the idea was that maybe we can hire somebody. So, for example, this whole Peruvian Brothers group that we just spoke to, instead of me writing it, we have somebody like an admin that could write the resolution for us, and then I would basically just approve it. So this would give us more time to focus on engaging with constituents and less time on more bureaucratic paperwork stuff. And so this idea actually is ANC 2E. They have somebody who does this for them. And there was a job description that they shared. So I went ahead and I'll share my screen and created something basically took the same thing that they have. And the idea was that maybe we could create a position within 6E so that this person could knock out a lot of these admin related things because the idea would be also that after all of us are gone, this would still be there, and this would help with continuity of commissioners staying on. So let me share my screen, and I'll let people take a few minutes to just kind of just read this. That essentially this person that we hired, they would be on every meeting of ours. They would be there. They would be there for the executive session meetings. They would be the ones sharing the slides. So Nate, instead of you having to worry about that before each meeting, that person would take care of it. They would also draft the agenda, and then the chair would review it prior. They would also help us post it on our website, also post it in our newsletter, because there's two forms that we need to publicize meetings for, so they would also take care of that. They would also, help us identify if we need to get somebody to come speak. They would be the ones to work and make sure that they attend. Let me know when most of you guys have kind of read through this, and then I can move on to the next page.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm ready.
Okay.
Don't know about others.
The rest of you guys, am I good to go to the next page?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Another thing is also they would have to upload the meeting recording to YouTube afterwards, and then they would have to do all of the quality documentation. So Dale, you just talked about all this financial stuff. We don't even remember if we did it last month, right? So this person's job would be to be on top of all this stuff. They would again also draft resolutions and letters of support, take that away from us. And then also document management. So making sure it's filed in the correct way so it's easy to find.
Is in the case of another ANC that already has somebody doing this, do they have access
Correct.
to the is that okay with Office of ANCs because it gives them you mean access to the open drive, to the OneDrive?
Yeah, because they're considered the executive director of that ANC. So, but we could probably check on that. But I mean, I would imagine,
Yeah,
and she does
yeah.
this for 3 different ANCs. The person that works for
Yeah.
them. So my guess is that this is already good to go. But I think this is needed, frankly. And having been here now for 4 years and seeing people burn out and people not wanting to do executive positions, like I get it because it's a lot of work, right? So. We also have the budget. It's not like we spend anything from our budget ever other than, paying for the GoDaddy, renewal to host the website and the Zoom. Actually, no, Zoom is also included. So daily operations, working in collaboration with 60
Yes.
commissioners.
So
Go ahead.
is this are you submitting this document now for a vote or is it for
Yes.
discussion? And then we would, because I have not seen this document before. I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, yeah.
And I
So
just wonder if we should have more time to look at it and see if there is anything that needs to be changed. I guess we could change it later, but if this is the scope of work, we kind of want to get it right the first time. Still reading here.
Maybe what I can do is at least today we can vote on whether we want to do this or not, and then we can finalize with the stipulation that there may be some changes to the job description.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have thoughts on how to source candidates for this role?
Yeah, so that would be the next thing now. So I actually asked the Office of the ANC, what is the process? And they don't really have a process. It's for us to decide. And so I was thinking about this, and I think we need to be fair here and we need to open it up. to as many people to give them an opportunity. And so I basically have created 2 job applications that we would then, I would say, keep open for about 3 weeks or so. And then we would interview them and then kind of go from there. So the first position would be a trainer, somebody that would, and actually, so somebody that can train whoever is this executive director that we're going to hire on how to do this role. I think would be important because we obviously can train, but I think having somebody that's done this before would be helpful. And so the idea was maybe we could have this executive director and this person training the executive director work together for a few months, and then the executive director would take over completely. And so we're now in February of 2026. So my thought is, if we can get people started by April, have that trainer stay through the rest of the year, April to December. So pay 2 people through the rest of the year, and then the executive director would take on by themselves starting in January of next year. But this gives them at least that 6 months window or so to kind of learn. And this actually, there would be no experience really necessary. So this could be for really anybody, somebody that's maybe, in the food industry that wants to get some admin experience, to give people the opportunity that haven't had the opportunity to do this kind of work before also. So I'm just trying to be inclusive here and trying to be as open as possible. So yes, to answer your question in a long way, yes, that would be the idea. And so we would promote it in the newsletter, and then we would promote it on the website as well.
Just a thought that comes to mind based on what you said about the trainer, having the trainer on for a long time or for a
Yeah.
while, and then having them take off. It might be something to include in the job description for the executive director role, that there's like a possibility for raising that salary at the completion of training. I feel like that would be something to think about.
Oh, okay, so you're saying that basically to keep it open to maybe increasing the salary. I guess my thought was we would pay both of them about that 1,400 as it was listed. That's what the other ANC pays. And then just the executive director would be paid 1,400 moving forward. But are you saying to just keep it flexible in case we want to increase it?
I came to mind, since you said they'd be doing it together for a while, and then somebody would be doing it by themselves. Maybe they don't start at 1,400. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay.
If you're going from having half, like if your workload doubles, I would expect for that my salary to increase. So just want to be like mindful of that dynamic, maybe.
That's a good point. So yeah, so maybe what the person that's training is gets the 1,400, and the person that is learning maybe 1,000 or something. I don't know. I don't know what is the right number here, but
Certainly me neither. Just something to consider.
yeah, okay. But any other thoughts here? We got other commissioners. Kevin, curious to get your thoughts because you're the commissioner that's been here the longest. Have we ever had somebody like this? And you've obviously noticed also people have been kind of coming and going. So do you see this as something that could help keep people here longer?
I believe we did have somebody like that. I think it was Karen.
Okay, so Karen, we do have Karen. She does just the minutes. So now this would be somebody that would do a lot more than the minutes. Yeah.
Well, won't you check with the OA and see what they have
Okay. See what they have in terms of like support or
for support?
okay. I think we've got a pretty good idea on what they can offer, and they cannot offer what we have over here.
Okay. Well, somewhere along the line, I believe that we can get somebody from the ANC, and all we have to do is just check and find out.
So they can guide us. I don't think we can hire them technically. So
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right, because they're part of the okay.
right. But like we could technically hire like an ex-commissioner that used to do this and is familiar with all this stuff. Like I don't see what's wrong with
Yeah.
that. But yeah.
You would have to hire somebody that's outside this organization.
Yeah, that's outside at least our ANC. So none of us would be eligible for this job. But if there's another commissioner in a different ANC that's interested in doing this, I mean, I don't see why that's a problem. But
All
okay,
right.
so yep.
We'll find out some kind of way.
Yeah.
We'll
And
look
then
it
I'm
up.
looking at the chat right now. Commissioner Nigro, yeah, do you want somebody with admin experience? I think that would be ideal, but I don't think it's entirely necessary, especially if we have that trainer. But that is a fair point, something to keep in mind as we evaluate candidates. So,
I would only comment that I think we need to cast a wider net than just our webpage and our newsletter. And
yeah,
maybe we could, well, no, I was going to say like whatever DC government uses, but this is not a DC government position. I don't know if they include, well, we can find out how to disseminate this more widely, but I think we need to go bigger.
we can, but there's also the thought it would be nice if we were to find somebody within our ANC. That way they're also already invested in the work, and it would affect them personally too. I think would be ideal. So I don't know how wide we have to go, but something to I do agree with you, though.
Uh-huh.
We can at least look at other options in terms of how we want to advertise it.
We could like post, like I could put a flyer in my building's lobby, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
With the website or whatever.
yeah.
Does the document speak to the issue of who gives direction? Is it the executive committee? Is it the chairman or chairperson? I don't see it on here, but it seems to me that
What was the question?
does the scope of work specify where direction comes from? Management, or who is tasking out? I'm not sure I see that.
This kind
Chairperson,
of does in a
in
way, like it
conjunction with
kind of.
other officers. Well, that's a review, but it's sort of my question is who do they answer to? And now it seems to me that it has to be the members of the officers, because there's work from the treasurer, the secretary,
Right.
probably the chair, funneling work that comes from commissioners who are not on the who are not officers, but when there are resolutions in their SMDs, there may be something to draft there. It's not a critical point, but it'd be nice to have something in there. That's why I think it would be nice to circulate this, and we don't have to approve this document now. I think we have to approve the concept, and
Okay.
Then we can wordsmith this just a little bit more.
Okay. I like that, at least approving the concept of this, so that way then we can wordsmith it and then we can maybe send it out in the
I
next
think
week or two.
that's
Okay.
fair that we,
Yeah. I just want to. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying, I like the draft. I like this document. I just want to make sure that we all see it and have a chance to sort of chime in and make sure it will fulfill the needs, even though it looks pretty comprehensive.
Yes, and then I actually also figured we could maybe go over, like, this is the job application that I've kind of created. So these are the questions. So I've got about 7 questions, or so I'm trying to not make it too complicated.
Yeah.
Have some basic stuff in here. So this would be for the trainer role. First question is, have you ever served as a director for an ANC? Second is, if so, and you can do things called branching in Microsoft Forms. So basically, if somebody replies saying yes, then the next question would be, which ANC did you work for? Third question is, have you ever worked in / with the DC government? Fourth is, tell us about your experience with the DC government. And then number 5 is like a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. How familiar are you with the different agencies of the DC government and how they operate and work with the ANCs? And then 6 is, have you ever trained anybody before on how to be an executive director? 7, anything else you would like to tell us? 8, what is your email and phone number? And then that's a mistake. And then I also have a little caveat here saying, prior to completing this application, ensure your resumes have been emailed to the 3 email addresses, which are the executive folks. And if there's other commissioners that are interested in being part of the process, happy to include you too. But would love just thoughts. Any other questions you think I should be adding?
I'm just wondering if we're going to have to train the trainer.
If we're gonna what, sorry?
Train the
No,
trainer.
we're not
If we're
gonna have
going to,
to. And to be
you
honest, like,
feel confident we're going to get somebody who will come in and really know how we work?
yes, because I mean, it could even be the person that is already doing it for those three others that we just hire her if
Could
she's
be.
open to it. But again, I want to keep it open and I want to be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, yeah.
So, but I do, yeah, there are people I know that have expressed interest already. So,
Okay.
For that question 4, can you scroll down a little bit?
yep,
Are you trying to get at like work experience for the DC government? Or
that's a good point. Tell us about your experience with the DC government.
I could read that and think like I hate the DMV.
Fair. Um,
If that's what you're trying to get at. If you're trying to get at something else, then no need to heed the comment. But if it's yeah, work experiences.
yeah, I think that's totally fair. Okay, are people kind of good with these questions or any other?
Um, yeah, I mean, basically they're okay. It makes me wonder um, whether if a person who has not worked with the DC government, well, I guess an ANC is DC government, so yeah, they have ANC experience or proximity to, but are we putting too much? How will they be scored or not scored? Is it just going to go to the officers who will say yay or nay?
So this would be the application, then we would call them in for an interview and we would do an interview with them. And then
Hmm.
we would talk about how they perform. And I
Yeah,
haven't written up like what those interview questions are yet, but
yeah.
yes, it would be
Okay,
you, me, and Ahmad that would conduct interviews.
okay.
But again, this is also something like an ex-commissioner could do, right? Train
Right.
somebody. So I think we can find people for this.
Okay.
Anything else? Commissioner Watts, Kaufman, do you guys have any thoughts on this?
Nothing for me.
Okay.
Looks good.
No, no thoughts.
Okay. So I will then move now to the other. So this is for the trainer position. Now I've created another job application for the executive director application. So pretty similar. One, have you ever served as a director for an ANC? Two, which ANC did you work for? Three, have you ever worked in / with the DC government? Four, tell us about your experience with the DC, I guess I should say work experience. Thank you for that. Tell us about your work experience. 5, same thing, kind of on a scale of 1 to 10. How familiar are you with the different agencies in the DC government and how they operate and work with ANCs? And then number 6, why do you want this role? I think that's a pretty standard question to ask people. Maybe this could be an interview question. I may not have to have them write it out right now, but and then anything else you want to tell us, and then just your email and phone number, and then same thing at the front. Make sure you send us your resume beforehand.
I like the written question for what it's worth. Give people a chance to actually think about it. You might have a more thoughtful answer in writing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, in terms of the skills that the person will need to bring, we can probably suss out the interview process, but I would think they have to be able to, if they're going to be writing resolution for approval by the rest of the ANC, they have to know how to write. Doesn't it doesn't have to be finely crafted masterwork, but
No.
it has to be, decent writing, competent professional writing, and they will have to be competent in some tech skills. Uh,
That's what I kind of tried to do at the top. I didn't have the
that's
writing part, but yeah, I said
mhm,
no
mhm.
experience required, just basic familiarity with computers. And yeah, something about writing I think is a good point to
Well,
add.
and not, I mean, yeah, they'll need to know how to use sort of the Microsoft Office package or the parts of it that we use, particularly, OneDrive, Word, PDFs, Box, Zoom, all those, these are all very common things, but some people get tripped up here and there, such as myself, with
That's good. That's
moving
good.
things around because you work on your personal equipment and then you need to upload or upload for signature and submission and so forth. And
Yeah, that's fair.
those are all skills that need to be acquired or brought in.
Okay, so maybe something about like just basic familiarity with technology such as Zoom, Microsoft Office.
Yeah, I don't know if is the new term 365. Is Office still a thing? I'm not even sure of that anymore, but Microsoft software, Office or 365, I don't know what the current package is.
Like suite is a pretty neutral word.
Suite.
Microsoft Suite.
Yeah.
Time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
I like
keeps
that.
it-
Okay. Um, no experience required, just basic familiarity with technology such as Zoom, Microsoft Suite. Anything? Yeah, I think those are the main things we
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess, yeah, the government delivery thing for the newsletter, we learned that. So, I mean, yeah. Oh, I'm getting some good feedback. Commissioner Nigro, thank you. They need to be familiar with Suite, Copilot. I don't know about that. I haven't used Copilot yet.
I don't use Copilot.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at the comment about long-winded resolutions. I won't take that personally.
Okay. So yeah, I think what I will do is I will distribute all three of these so that way everybody can spend a little bit more time and review what's been created and provide feedback.
Yeah.
And then maybe, what I'm thinking is Ahmad, you and Dale and me are going to be meeting in about 2 weeks. Maybe we can just go from, we can decide then, hey, we want to send this out, make that executive call once everybody's given their feedback,
Yeah.
Okay. So just in terms of next steps here, so I'm gonna make whoops, sorry, that was my watch. Trying to think what the votes would be here. So I think number one is firstly creating this position, and then we're probably gonna have to amend the budget too for this because this was not in the budget. So, I move that ANC 6E creates two positions to help with administrative support. The two positions being executive director and executive director trainer, with the idea that modifications are still to be made to the job description. Does anybody feel good about seconding
Can we
that?
put some time frame on the trainer position?
Yes.
Executive
So
director will be ongoing, starting whenever we pull the trigger on a hire. But the trainer position, how long do you envision that?
So I envision that through the end of this year. I think that's pretty reasonable. That person would have about 6 months to get help and learn. And if we need to extend, we need to extend. I don't think there's any problem with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds a little long to me, but sure.
I'm just trying to be inclusive. Everybody learns differently. I know I take time to learn things, so that way we have the time, and yeah.
Me being brand new and not knowing anything about the budget or the finances there, I'm feeling like it'd be hard for me to vote yes on this. I'm kind of wanting to abstain because I just don't have the background. But
Yeah.
fine. But I just wanted to say that before you do the move.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Just in terms of like our overall budget, a lot of ANCs they give out grants. I've been here for 4 years. We've never given a single grant.
I think we made a grant for the
Did we?
Mount Vernon CID Street Fair. I could be mistaken, but I do remember a couple of years ago, and we had a table out there. We may have made a
That's not a
grant.
grant, right?
No, but I think we made a grant in addition to having the table. I'm not sure, but it seems to me we put some money into that.
Okay,
The one
Okay.
down on Cape from 7th over to, I don't know, 6th or 5th.
got
Maybe
it.
it was just one block. Maybe it was just 7th to 6th.
Okay.
So, but yes, essentially you're correct. We have been we have not issued many grants, and this amount of money, I think $1,400 would be roughly, very roughly, maybe about a quarter of our monthly allotment. If I'm not mistaken, I know we get 4,000 and something per month. So we currently, it would, even if we were to make a lot of grants and reduce our current account balance, this is sustainable. And if it, for some reason, got low on money, I guess we could terminate. We wouldn't want to do that, but um, I think it's a sustainable expense if it's $1,400 a month.
And yeah, and how much do you remember how much we actually have right now, say like that we haven't used? It's like
Yeah, right now,
$75,000 or something.
pardon me,
It's about like 75,000.
more like about 125,000.
Okay. So
If
we do
you
have the funds for
forget.
this.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. I guess now, just for the minutes, I should probably do this resolution again.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I move that ANC 6E creates an executive position, executive director position, and an executive director trainer position. The trainer only staying as of right now until through the end of the year, with more details about the job description and the job applications to be ironed out in the coming weeks. Would anybody like to second that?
I'll second.
Okay. So I moved and Commissioner Rogers seconded. So with that, let's go ahead and take a vote here. 6001's not here. 6002. Commissioner Watts? Okay, we're going to move to 6004,
Aye.
6005, 6006,
Aye.
6007 is not here. 6008,
Aye.
6009, aye. And then Commissioner Watts, do you want to weigh in?
Aye.
Perfect. All right. So this motion passes 6-0. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I think this is going to be very helpful once we kind of get this going. So with that being said, this actually brings us to 7:45, which is perfect timing. And that was when Department of Corrections was supposed to be here. So are they here now? Because it would be great if you guys can just raise your hand if either Department of Corrections.
We actually have the DDOT
Oh,
rep
yeah.
who was earlier in the agenda. We can go
Yes, I
back
do
to that.
see Kelly. So we're gonna let Kelly come on first, although I don't. Oh, there, I see her. So she will present first, and then DGS will let you guys go after. So let's promote.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too
Thanks.
bad.
Good. Do you mind if I share my screen? What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go over the NOI together so I can walk them through with the
Yeah,
commissioner
sure.
and also the residents. Let me share my screen. Oh, someone else is sharing. Okay, I'm going to replace it with mine. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, this NOI is available on our NOI portal, which is noi.d.dc.gov. So residents can see the NOI, and also we have a new function that residents and anybody can actually submit comments to this NOI directly from the website, and it comes to us directly. We review at the end of the NOI period. So this is kind of interesting safety improvement at the M Street and North Capitol Northwest. For many cases, DDOT NOI is about removing parking, but we are actually removing some parking and we are giving back parking. So we are using the parking space as traffic calming because we don't want to have a wide travel lane. So let's go over. So first of all, this intersection was selected. It's kind of one of the high injury area. So we identified this intersection as, lots of crash happening based on the data. So we wanted to do something proactively. So first of all, we want to install no turn on red. So there's a legislation by council. We have some funding issues, so implementation is a little pending. However, no turn on red is uh, proven thing for safety. So we want to make sure that cars are not turning on red. So we want to install the sign so the enforcement can be happening. It's going to be all approach. So either each direction, all four ways, it's going to be no turn on red. And that will provide safer crossing for the pedestrian. That's the biggest takeaway. And the next one is lane configuration. Let's look at the intersection. So this is from the satellite view. So this is North Capitol and M Street. Currently, M Street is one way. So there are multiple lanes. So currently, the first, except for parking, the first lane is for the through lane. And the second lane is also currently left turn and through. But then we realize left turn volume is much higher than through or right turn. So we want to designate those two lanes for left turn only because there are two lanes for North Capitol, so it can receive all the traffic. But the farthest right lane will be both through and right lane because the volume is low compared to the left turn. So that's kind of a lane configuration we are trying to do. So to have those right turn and through lane, the two function, we want to remove some parking a little bit further, which is about 75 feet. So those red marked area is no parking zone. So we are removing about like not even 10, like 5 to 7 parking space removing here. However, we will restore more parking. This green area on North Capitol on both sides, it's going to be now full-time parking. There are parking currently, but it's no parking uh through the rush hours in the morning and the afternoon. But we want to make sure it's just full-time parking, so it's going to be just like one lane. So it's all also confusing. So even though we have rush hour parking, it's a lot of enforcement issue. So we are actually trying to move away from rush hour parking because its enforcement is a big, cumbersome. So we want to have full-time parking on both sides. So even though we are removing some parking from M Street, which is 75 feet, but both North Capitol Street combined, it's gonna be over almost 400 feet worth of parking space back to residents. Those are the main thing we are suggesting. So far we haven't received any big complaints. We got some support. So it'll be amazing if ANC 6E can submit support letter. It's not mandatory. It can be just one email from ANC commissioners or just official comment through the NOI website. Either way works. So if ANCs agree with this and then residents are supported, we can install as soon as possible when the NOI is closed. Happy to take any questions.
I do have one question. Those two blocks of parking that's going to be converted from rush hour parking to full-time parking.
Yep.
That's not residential parking permit blocks though, right?
Let me double check. That's a good point. So some portion of North Capitol on the northern side is residential parking, but maybe you're right. So if you don't see any zone 6 parking, yes, but I also need to check the zoning because DDOT, while we have the residential parking permit system, however, some blocks are not even eligible because of the zoning. So likely this block, I'm sorry, yeah, so likely this block can be the issue. Yeah, I can double check. So
That's the question I have there. Since those obviously it's a small number of spaces, but those I believe are residential parking permit spaces that you're losing.
I see.
Maybe I actually am not sure if it's on that side of the street. But obviously this building between Patterson and M Street over here is pretty new. Lots of residents. I'm pushing for RPP zoning over here. So
yeah, definitely. Because the tricky part is those are, as you mentioned, it's kind of big apartment buildings, like
Yeah, I know.
multiple,
Yeah.
like hundreds of units. So even if we make those area RPP, that means if you own a car, you have to pay for the RPP, but the space is really limited. So I think that's the main reason why we have a zoning requirement for those. But I can definitely check. But I'm sure you're correct that it's not RPP zone.
Even if on the side, the other side of the street, if it were not that side of this, if that other side of the street were a resident parking permit, I feel like that would be a good compromise.
Yeah, let me check. I mean, I can quickly check and then I can get back to you right away.
Do you know how area is zoned? Is it a zone that permits RPP?
I need to check.
Yeah,
There's a public map. I can quickly look.
yeah. No, I had an issue at my SMD where DDOT took away some RPP, and I heard from one of the constituents, and I wrote in, and the answer came back, well, it wasn't zoned for RPP in the first place. So I don't know what to do about that. But I do have a question related to this issue here. Now, I'm sorry if I missed it, but did you discuss whether there will be any impact, positive, negative, or none to that southbound North Capitol Street merge lane from people who have turned left from New York Avenue? They come along the parallel street here, and then after they cross M, there's a little lane that comes, yeah, where your cursor is. It
Yes.
comes into, and it's not really generally a problem. I go through there a lot. Is there anything that would, I don't know, aggravate the merge,
I don't think so. Actually, it
or
may help
affect it?
because currently this green area here is travel lane during rush hour, meaning there's like two lanes trying to figure out like one merge to one lane. So actually it'll remove those conflict. So it'll actually help. And also
Uh,
the left right turn right is it's been always one lane making right turns, so there's no conflict difference. But I think making this parking rush hour parking to full-time parking, I think it'll actually reduce the conflict. So I think it'll help.
so is that going to be metered,
For
or
this
is it
parking,
free?
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be if it's not RPP, it's going to be on zone. But that's actually a good point. We'll double check and I'll get back to you.
Okay. Um, and that's 2 lane, but people do park right there. That's Tyler House, right? That 3-part building there. And there are often cars parked in front. I'm not sure about farther down the block, but
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's rush hour. So as you mentioned, just maybe
Oh,
enforcement issue.
rush hour, no parking?
Yeah, rush hour, no parking only,
I
either
get it. Okay,
AM or
okay.
PM. Yeah, that's why
Thank
there are
you.
part. Yeah,
Thank you. Okay.
Otherwise, I'm very supportive of the left turn lane ch fix there, and no turn on red. And this, I believe, is my district, so I'm happy to write a letter.
perfect.
I'll work with my fellow colleagues here. This is my first day to figure out how to do that.
Yay. Yeah, I mean nothing crazy. Just your signature, your
Sure.
email address. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we need to vote on this?
Yes, it looks
Yeah.
like we
So we
will.
need
I
to-
guess my question is, I know we had some open questions. Are people
Oh, yeah.
still comfortable voting before getting answers to those questions, or are you still okay voting? This is
Where are
more
the
questions
open
for Dale
questions?
and Julia. Sorry?
What from me? I don't, mine have been answered.
Oh, have
Are
yours?
there
Okay, I guess
others?
it's you, Julia, then.
No, it's all right. It's all good. It's good. I would
Okay.
like to know the answer to like what the restriction is, but it won't affect my vote.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Let's just, before we do any vote, there's a couple of comments in the chat. So this is from Kate. Richard, commissioners, please support this. Anything to make this intersection safer would be welcome. I pass through it often, especially in the morning rush hour, and vehicles make RTOR all the time without paying any attention to whether people are there, especially SB NCAP onto WBM. Those are a lot of acronyms. Don't know if I know.
southbound North Capitol
Yes.
onto westbound
Okay.
M.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And then she wrote another comment. Any chance of flexi posts or something more sturdy on the southern ends of these two parking zones on end cap to enforce daylighting for the crosswalk.
Oh,
That's
that's
actually a good
right.
point. Currently, I don't think so, but I can definitely double check. So,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, that sounds good. Julia, do you want to try and make the motion, or do you want me to do it? Since this is
You
yours.
do it. I don't even know what I'm moving for, but I agree with the person in the chat. I'm a runner there and people are scary and on those right turns on red. So yeah.
Okay, so we are basically just Kelly, can you clarify what you would like us to specifically say?
In your letter or email?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I can share some samples. So basically, you can mention that, you discussed this NOI during your public monthly meeting on this day, and you voted on certain number, and you support this. And even if you support it, you can still add comments. For example, we're also wondering if you can add some flex posts, support it,
Yeah.
plus you can comment so that we can consider them, and then we can determine the final recommendations.
Okay, I think I got it. So I'm going to move that ANC 60 approves the NOI 2603 MSED, M Street and North Capitol. Anybody like to second that?
I think we have to support it, not approve it.
Sorry, I keep doing that. I keep saying that. So, okay.
Okay, we don't approve it.
Yes, we support it. So thank you for the clarification. So I moved and Commissioner Fielder seconded. We'll go to the vote. Let's go straight to 6002.
Aye.
Okay. 6003.
Aye.
Oh, 6005.
4.
Oh, sorry, 4. Yeah.
Aye.
4, 5. Not here. 6006.
Aye.
Okay, and then we're going to skip to 6008.
All right.
And then I will vote aye. So this passes 6-0. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, now we are going to move on to DGS. So if you guys can just raise your hand, DGS and Department of Corrections, and we will promote all of you. Take one more. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to promote Commissioner Nigro. Hang on, I gotta move you back. That was a mistake. I will let you speak. No, sorry. Give me a second. Sorry, I actually don't know how do I move
Because
her
I'm
back?
gonna have questions anyway, so you might as well just keep me on.
All right, as long as you're not gonna
You
interrupt.
know,
If you're gonna let them speak, though, if you're
I
gonna
let them
interrupt,
speak. I always let them speak.
all right,
John
fine.
knows. John Stokes, if he's on,
And you
he
get a
knows.
clock,
Yeah, exactly. He'll give
2-minute
you a
clock.
So,
Listen. It's not my meat. I got my margarita in my martini glass.
all right, fine.
Hi, John.
All right.
Good evening. Are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready now. Go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay, fantastic. Good evening. Thank you very much for inviting us. I'm John Stokes, and I'm the Associate Director of External Affairs for the Department of General Services. We're joined tonight by my colleagues at the Department of Corrections to give our quarterly update regarding the 501 New York Avenue project. Leading us tonight in this presentation will be Ajay Hargrove.
Good evening, everyone. We are back to give an update. My name is Ajay Hargrove. I'm with the Department of General Services. I'm the Executive Program Manager for Public Safety and Justice, Capital Construction. We're here about the 501 New York Avenue project. Next slide. So today we will go over the updates, what's in progress with construction, critical path and risk mitigation, permit overview, HPRB and regulatory coordination, and some upcoming milestones. Next slide, please. So currently, we are working on the interior of the facility. We continue to work on that. We also are working on our closing. We're starting to close in the walls. We received our closing inspections. We are continuing to coordinate with the reviewing agencies such as HPRB and DDOT Public Safety. We are working with DDOT and DC Water on the base contract permits that are required. And we are mobilizing and planning for the upcoming exterior work as part of the base contract. Next slide. So as stated on the interior, we continue to work on rough ends, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing rough ends. We're closing walls now and advancing the framing from basement up. And we've started some finishes within the facility. On the critical path right now is the detention cell installation. Some of the materials have already arrived, and we are sequencing to make sure that we keep progress moving as we get specialty trades involved. On the exterior, we're working with DDOT and DC Water so we can start the base scope, which includes some utility activities. Next slide, please. On the critical path right now is the specialty detention equipment, fabrication and installation. It's small. Some of the risks we are mitigating right now is ensuring our specialty and interior sequencing is resolved, and we're doing some early coordination to maintain the overall project milestones. Ongoing coordination with our contractor on specialty trades. Interior work is continuing to sequence in parallel with some of our upcoming procurements. And if we have any issues with mobilization, we have some escalation protocols in place. Right now, we don't have any schedule challenges. We are maintaining our schedule. Next slide, please. So from the last meeting, we've received HPRB approval on the fence and curb cuts. We are planning to present at the March Public Space Committee hearing. Until we get resolution and finalize the Public Space Committee hearing, we'll move back to DOB for permitting. We're coordinating with the National Park Services on a portion of the lot that we will be impacting. And DC Water, we have applications in to assist with permitting for hydrant flow tests, which will impact the sprinkler system. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, we went to HPRB in December. There were some questions, we had to make revisions. We went back in January and we received approval. And the next few slides are images of what has been approved to date. Next slide, please. So this is a site plan. I'm not sure if you can see where the fence is based on this, but we have some elevations that follow. You can go to the next slide. So these are the elevations of the fence. The fence is black wrought iron, 7 feet tall, with that spans between 2 feet, 2x2 brick pillars. You can go to the next slide. These are some of the renderings that we presented to HPRB. That provides a little bit of scale. Next slide. More images from the back and it's at 5th Street and L Street corners. Next slide. So upcoming, we're going to continue with the interior. We do have a significant amount of work still to do on the interior. So we're going to continue with that and get the specialties contractors involved. On the exterior, we are awaiting public space for the base contract work, which is utility upgrades and installation. And then on the regulatory side, we are headed to the March Public Space Committee hearing, after which we will resubmit for DOB permit, and we continue with our NPS coordination to get their limited site interface permit. Project milestones, we are targeting May 2026 for the interior to be complete, and targeting October for the exterior work, including the fencing and curb cuts, to be complete. Next slide. And that is the end of our presentation. And John Stokes is our External Affairs, and Miss Satara Yell works for DOC. We can take any questions you have at this point.
Thank you. So my first question is, you guys aren't looking for any support or anything. This is just to give the update that you guys said you were going to give every so often, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. And so I saw that I believe October was completion. So does that mean then that it would start functioning in terms of bringing prisoners? Would you start housing prisoners starting in October then? Or
what I'll do is I'll say that's when we'll be able to hand it over to DOC.
Okay.
I'll leave it to DOC to kind of say if they're going to start right away in October.
I see.
Good evening. I'm sorry, I don't have my camera on. Our plan is when the building is complete, to begin operations of transporting arrestees to the location once the building is complete.
Okay, and I believe one of the things that also came up is when this thing is to be to start operating, will people be released in that area? I think that was one of the big concerns that came up. So was curious if that will be occurring once this starts being operated.
I believe that matter was referenced in the BZA orders.
Okay.
And so it is referenced and outlined in the BZA orders as to that we are not to release from the location.
Okay, got it. Any other commissioners have questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have
Sure.
a couple of questions. Thanks for coming to talk with us. With regard to the construction that's going on, does that include the, I guess you'd call them garage doors to I think the term is the sally ports? Are they being replaced? I'm interested in what they'll sound like and how much noise. And the other issue that I'm curious about is lighting. What kind of lighting will there be? Will you have lighting on the building? Will there be external facing lighting? I'm always concerned about light pollution. I understand are there special requirements for this type of building in terms of lighting and around the clock and so forth? Could someone describe how any kind of noise concerns, going in and out of vehicles on the premises, as well as what lighting plan is?
Let me address the first question. We will be replacing the both sally port doors, yes. In terms of noise from those doors, I can look up some information and get back to you on that. I don't have that in front of me. And the lighting, there is no. The last time I reviewed the drawings, which has been some time, my apologies, but there was no external facing lighting. There was lighting that was projected around the facility itself, but nothing that kind of was directed out into
Right. So the building will be lit up,
correct.
but lighting will not be directed out.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from commissioners?
I'm also interested in how we can find out about the progress of the work at the Daily Building, because if I'm remembering correctly, the need for this project originates in the need to renew or to conduct renovation work at the Daily Building. And so I think the timeline we had was something in the neighborhood of 5 years of usage for this building. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm wondering if the daily building project has gotten started and where we could go to get occasional updates on that, find out how that's going, because that seems to determine the length of use of this facility. Is that correct?
That is correct. And we are in the process of procuring services for the design builder. And we can, as we move forward with that, that's something we can share. That's not an issue.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? I know Commissioner Nigro, you got some comment or questions, so I'm gonna let you speak. Give me 1 second. All right, there you go.
Okay, all right, I'll be brief, because I can go on forever. I'm the subject matter expert on this topic. So my question for DGS is, why did you not show up to this public space committee meeting this month? And what were you missing? What were you missing that you did not show up? Do you know? There's your first question. And actually, the second question is, or actually, the second, it's not even a question, it's more of a request, and you'll be surprised by it. I would like a sign announcing the central cell block is coming to this space, like coming soon on all sides, and a QR code to go with it. And that should not be a problem, because you all should be very proud of this project. If that request is not honored, and I'm sure you're surprised, I would like to know why you do not want to announce this publicly with signage. But I'm very curious about the public space committee, why y'all didn't show up.
I don't have the full answer for you about why we weren't there. My project manager is managing that process. What I will say is that we were originally scheduled to be part of that meeting, and then we were told that we need to go to the March hearing.
Because they didn't tell you. You guys were missing something. So the question is, what were you missing? That's my question.
I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, great. That's it. See, look how quick that was.
All right.
I'm laughing. He's the only one. I can't wait to say, listen, here's my big statement. Whatever happens, I can't wait to say I told you so, because this is going to be a disaster. But there you are. I always say that. All right, great. Let me know about my signage.
Actually, a follow-up question, like when a jail does come up in a neighborhood, is that the normal policy to create a sign saying something is coming to the neighborhood? I can't imagine, right? Like what is the general policy on that?
The jail has operated in its current location at 1901 D and E Streets since I think the current CDF opened in 1976, and then this CTF, the Correctional Treatment Facility, opened in 1992. We are part of a neighborhood. We are part of a community there, have been a part of the community as I said, and there was a building before the jail opened in 1976. So we've been part of that community since prior to 1976. And so we don't make any special announcements. The buildings are there. We occupy the buildings. We do the work that we're required to do within those buildings, and carry on. We do have other locations as well in terms of the Ready Center location in Southeast, and we have a training facility that is located in Northeast on Queens Chapel Road, and we do operate those locations as well without issue or fanfare. So while I understand the concerns, we have operated within the District of Columbia community for well over 100 years, and so we intend to continue to do so.
Got it. Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else have any other questions?
Just since this is a new issue to me, and you may have just asked about it with the daily building, but is the intention for this to be a temporary, what's the intended use for after the temporary changes?
So as part of the BZA hearing, once we return back to the daily building, we are to coordinate with the ANC to determine what the best use of the facility will be.
Okay. So really, this is just moving a few blocks as of right, is basically what it is, right? It's already in the same area. It's just moving a few blocks.
Correct.
Okay.
But the building will be like specially fit with a bunch of central holding sort of stuff. So you can imagine it having
Yes.
that will really change the space and change what it can be used for in the future.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Niagara, I think you had one more thing to say. I'll let you go. Give me a second. Go ahead.
Ms. Wilson, so listen, we would welcome the sign. You know, I know you're shocked, but bring on the sign that says coming soon. There should be nothing that you should be ashamed of at this point. Coming soon, central cell block on all sides with a QR code. This should be a very easy request.
Wait, sorry. Is there anything new? You already made that
No, that's
point.
it. But she said she wasn't
Okay.
going to do it or did. So go ahead, Ms.
Yeah.
Wilson, go ahead and do it. I support it. I support the
Okay.
sign.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining and appreciate the update.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Moving on. So I think we've covered all of our major items. I will say I think we may need to just about the administrative support. I think I may need to make a motion that we also amend the budget because yeah, I don't think that was part of the initial motion. So I'm going to move that AN6E supports, just making sure, you know, because use the word support, Dale.
Well, for this one, we can approve it because
Sure,
it's
true.
our action. It doesn't
is
go to
true.
another agency.
That is true. Supports and approves us amending our budget to accommodate these two positions.
Yeah, we don't know how much it will be right now because we haven't finalized this scope of work document. So I think it should be, we can't really stipulate an amount. So I think I think then we'll have to vote on the document, or we'll have to have an additional vote on an actual budget amount, because I think we have to approve an amount. I don't think we can just say, well, it's budgeted.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say at least a max of 3K a month for this. Does that work?
I suppose it works for me. So we would say that we would budget up to $3,000 a month through the end of the calendar year, because
Yes.
that would take us to the end of the period of employment for the trainer,
Correct.
at which point we would drop down to whatever amount we land on, such as $1,400 a month.
Yep, and I think we have to do our budget every year anyway, so that would be included in next year's budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think when we actually hire, we probably should vote a fixed amount, although maybe that would work up to $3,000 a month. I'll have to
Okay.
check with the office and see if we can go with that. But I think that works. We did vote an up to amount for council at one point on an issue that we didn't ended up not using it, so we
Okay.
removed it from the budget.
Okay, so then just for the records here, so I'm going to move that ANC 6E supports and approves us allocating up to $3,000 a month through the end of this year.
Yeah, effective the date when a person or persons are hired.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. For
Can I
this.
get a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Cool. All right. So I moved and then Commissioner Prince seconded. So let's go to a vote. We'll start with 6E02. Okay, 6E03,
Aye.
6E04,
Aye.
no worries. 6E05, not here. 6E06,
Aye.
6E07, not here. 6E08
Aye.
and 6E09, aye. And then 6E02. No, okay. So we're gonna just, for the record, say that this motion passed 5 with one, I guess that would be an abstention.
I think we count that as an extension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Moving on. So the next thing was going to be about the financials, but it doesn't look like we need to talk about that.
I can present the January report if, does
Okay.
anyone recall whether we presented that before? It just takes a second.
Yeah, sure, go for it. We can.
And it doesn't require approval. Nate, do you have the slide that's labeled, or the PDF labeled January?
I think I
January
closed
something.
it out, but I can bring it up.
Well, I can pull it up from mine too, if I am allowed to share. It is the simplest little thing.
Mhm.
I'm opening now. Let's see if you will allow me to share my screen here. Let me double check what's. Have it open twice. Close that window. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Can you see that? This is the record of expenditures with the bank account balance. You can see that at the end of January, we had a closing balance, $128,855.82. We had three expenditures. I think, one is still to, I think this is an unidentified expenditure. What I'm pretty sure what it is, it's because in the handoff between treasurers, one page with the carbon copies was didn't arrive to me, but will shortly. And I believe this is a $250 expenditure to our minute taker. So we had 3 payments for minutes, monthly minutes, $250 each. 1 payment to Vice Chair Hans for reimbursement of GoDaddy website services. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds right. There was
Which you
that and
paid?
something else. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. So we had 4 expenditures totaling just under $800. Okay, that is the monthly report for January. Any
Great.
questions? I will close this now.
All right. No questions or concerns from everybody. With that being said, we can move on to the open forum. So any commissioner that just has anything they'd like to bring up? I think we've covered quite a bit today. Thing on my end.
I got something I want to bring up.
Sure.
Yes, we have an incident over in Plaza West, right, where the garbage had piled all the way up to the 12th floor. It was on the news, right? And I wanted to present that to Charles Allen's office. I have pictures and I have a video. It was a mess. They had trash coming all the way out the garage. So they told me that they didn't pay the bill. So they sent some people in to clean it up, but the first floor all the way to the 12th floor is still stopped. stockpile. So I want to throw that out there, right? See if I can get some help.
So basically you want to just convey, okay, yeah, John, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi,
Commissioner
Joe.
Rogers and 6E. Yes, I am talking to the manager almost every day about that. And I have some beautiful pictures of that as well. I also have
Yeah.
pictures of the trash chutes that are generally speaking clogged by recycled material like boxes that get stuck in the chute. Which is a separate issue altogether that I'm working on. Maybe engaging some floor captain kind of ideas to spread that word. But the manager on the other side, not on the Grant family side, and he seems to be more of the decision maker. And he and I are in multiple times a day talking about where things are. And I'm hoping the residents I'm talking to, I'm in touch with, but I'm not in touch with the whole building wide. So if you and I want to touch base tomorrow, that would be great.
Yes, I would. I know you speaking with Kevin and Tamika, but they still the residents on the grandmother side, right? They not satisfied. They got rats and stuff running down the hallway, so they didn't show that. Um, so I like to get to the bottom and bring some closure to that building because it's really a mess,
Let's do it.
and people don't have to live like that, you know. So we'll do that. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll call your office in the morning.
I'll shoot you an email and maybe you and I can get together.
Okay, then. That'll work. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, John. Thank you,
And
John.
nothing else? Okay, great. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything else? Open forum? We're actually
There's
1
one
hour.
thing I would mention, just in passing for awareness and for awareness of anyone in the community listening. Commissioner Hans, you and I both wrote to DDOT about rumble strips that had been installed on the 395 tunnel, and I followed up to find out what was the newest on our interest in having them removed, and the answer I got was that they would be removed and signage would be posted instead, and we could expect work to start this week. I haven't seen any evidence of work yet, but that's very encouraging because the rumble strips were causing noise that disturbed some residents. So fingers crossed they will complete that work soon.
Thank you for that update.
Had you heard that separately? I don't believe you did, unless you were on that email exchange, but
I think I was on that exchange.
yeah, okay,
because-
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but thank you for the reminder. I need to reach out to that constituent who had brought that up and let them know about that update.
Yeah.
Okay, I think with that being said, we are actually 1 hour ahead of schedule, which is I know, I'm very happy about that. This doesn't usually happen. But I will go ahead and just say that our next meeting will be on March 25th at 6:30 p.m. Same place, same time. And I'm going to move.
Don't we invite the public to raise any issues? Or did we?
Yeah, I did. I said if anybody else has anything for open forum, maybe
Okay.
I wasn't clear. But
Sorry
yeah,
if I
anybody
missed
from the
that.
public, if you'd like to raise any issues or have any questions, this is the time. If you want to raise your hand. Nope. Nope. Okay. So it looks like people are actually dropping. So with that being said, next meeting will be on March 25th. And I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn the ANC 6E meeting for February 2026.
I
Any
will second.
seconds? Great. I moved and Commissioner Prince seconded. Let's take a vote. 6E02,
Aye.
6E04.
Aye.
Oh, sorry, 6E032,
Hi.
6E05. Not here, I don't think. 6E06.
Aye.
Okay. 6E07, not here. 6E08.
Aye.
And 6E09. Aye. So that passes 620. Thank you, guys. We'll talk next month. And welcome, Julia, again. Happy to have you.
Welcome.
Thanks.